Good morning, everybody. I am Daniel Ratcliffe.
And I'm Rebecca Michael.
And this is Real Empowerment. Today is a pretty cool day. We have two individuals from the Independence Center that have helped out many of our consumers with maintaining housing or obtaining housing.
Yes.
So obviously today our topic is housing. So we are very, very happy to have Christine Gardner. Say hello.
Hello.
And Sarah Callendar.
Hello.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's get this thing rolling.
Yes,
Let's talk
let's
about
do this.
housing. Let's get some people some
info.
Great
So
topic.
yes. So the cool thing about the Independence Center and housing is that we have not only a housing department, but we also in advocacy have one of our primary focus areas is housing. So we attack it in multiple ways, which is really kind of cool because not every organization does that. So with that, the Independence Center was also selected this last year to participate in a work group for the National Council for Independent Living, so NCIL. We've referred to NCIL a number of times on our podcast. But we were not selected because we have a housing program and that we have vouchers. We were selected as one of the only CILs that actually has a focus area in advocacy for housing, which is really cool. But with that, I learned a ton from just asking questions and being able to understand what the housing world looks like. And then as Chris has worked with her team to grow housing even more, I've learned a ton more about what this looks like at the state level, and then how it trickles down to our community. So, I can talk a whole podcast on housing
great.
advocacy.
I'm going.
No,
Go
you're
ahead
not.
and
Get back here.
Oh.
He straight up got up out of his chair.
Oh
My gosh. And I
leading
just
us.
realized that you're on my blind side, so the things that you
Awesome.
are doing that I can't see scare me.
Don't worry, I can't see him either. And it scares me.
I'm like, wait a minute. We've changed the orientation of the room for many different reasons, but then I just realized, I'm like, wait a minute, man, I have to turn a lot to talk
Yeah,
to
and you
Daniel these
always
days.
tell me to sit on your
Yeah, my
sided
side.
side.
And
well.
you didn't do it this time.
Yeah,
I blame you.
I'll take all
Okay.
the blame.
As you should.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm in a room with 3 women. I will take all of the blame.
Good.
Yes.
Lucky guy.
I
Daniel.
know.
Yes.
He's learned a lot. Yes. Good job.
All right, just tell me to
Okay.
be quiet and I'll shut up now.
All right. I'm giving you a look like you can see it.
I can feel it.
Okay. So let's jump in. Let's start back, I guess, a year ago. What did housing look like? What did the housing department look like at the IC a year ago?
Well, if I could back up even a little more than a year
Sure.
ago, I came to the Independence Center almost 5 years ago
Okay.
and was asked to maintain anywhere between 25 and 35 vouchers.
Okay.
And the reason it fluctuates is people were searching. People may have been evicted. People moved. You can port these vouchers out of state.
Sure.
So I started with between 25 and 35.
Okay.
This was 5 years ago. And it got to the point where, everything was pretty smooth. Everybody was housed up. But once again, I reemphasize, 5 years ago, you could get apartments for individuals. And they were very, very reasonably priced here 5 years ago.
Sure.
I went to Chris after a couple of years and says, you know what, I think I got this housing thing down. This is easy.
got this.
Yeah, I got landlords that want tenants. I got tenants that want apartments. Mm-hmm. It was great. And so we decided together that we were going to grow the program whatever way we could. And then the state actually found out that we were wanting to grow, asked us if we would be open to maintaining more vouchers. Well, when they said more vouchers, I wasn't sure about the number.
You're like,
And the
sure, bring
number
'em
came
on.
down, and it was 377. So
It was
Man.
a few more than
Did we say yes to that?
35.
Wow.
Yeah,
be
expert,
careful
got
what
it.
you wish for. Don't ever go to your manager and say that you're bored.
I've got this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that everything's going just fine. So, it's all about hills and valleys, and it was one of those hills we were climbing together.
Nice.
The vouchers came over, came over by way of another agency, and there was a variety of vouchers. The ones I was familiar with were HCV, which was known years ago as Section 8 vouchers.
Sure.
And Housing Choice Vouchers, the HCV. Everything's done in acronyms.
Of course they are.
So these vouchers that we were getting were different types of vouchers: state vouchers, mental health vouchers, youth vouchers, family unification vouchers. There was 7 to 9 different types of vouchers
Wow.
that we were open to accepting and open to learning more about.
Wow.
Yes. So then a year ago, we were getting that kind of, that was when it came over. We're getting that kind of put in place.
Sure.
Since then, we had an employee from the Independence Center decide that she wanted to join the housing program, thought it looked exciting. So she came on board.
I think you needed help.
We did.
Absolutely.
We definitely did.
Yeah. And it was very beneficial to us to have somebody within Independence Center who
That
kind of knew
already
the housing.
knew how to,
Yeah,
how
exactly.
everything operated.
So she came on board, and she's learning as we go, and we decided that we were going to bring another one on, hired another gal that came from the housing background, apartment management background for 20 years.
Wow.
She's been very key to our success over the last year.
Sure.
And then we started working with some other agencies and issuing vouchers to youth, because I'm not sure if everybody knows, but a lot of youth, 18 to 25-year-olds, that number is increasing.
Yes.
Kids on the streets that we're trying to help out, issuing them vouchers and finding them places to live within Colorado Springs area.
Sure.
So anything you want to add, Chris?
That's amazing.
That
The
is.
department's amazing to keep up like that. I mean, truly, that's the only way that we've even got all of these vouchers. Because the state said, oh, yeah, we know Sarah. We know the Independence Center. They can do it.
Yeah. Especially, I think that's really cool that we have developed a relationship with our state partners, and they understand the work ethic and the detail that goes into just maintaining, 25 to 30, and I'm sure that there are times where they get complaints and stuff from other providers, and they likely weren't getting them from about service that was provided from the IC, which is really cool.
Nice.
But then that tells the state to go, we can trust them to do a quality job, that individuals are going to get the service that they deserve when they have a voucher, and they're going to be treated as though they are individuals and people, not, oh, you're on a voucher, which we hear a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. You get a certain stigma to people that, oh, you have a housing voucher. Absolutely. Right. And I try to, like Chris talked about, the state, I didn't know if they'd ever been to the Independence Center, and I welcomed them down to the Independence Center to meet our other, coworkers and our other services that we offer at the Independence Center. So when somebody walks in or calls, they're not just getting housing, they're getting the big picture. Housing is just a small part. It's an important part to somebody's life, but it's just a small part of what a lot of individuals really need assistance with, and that's what we are there to provide.
Yes. Sarah, how does one go about obtaining a housing voucher?
That's a really good question, Daniel.
It's a loaded one.
Yes.
I try.
How much time do you say we have?
job.
Yeah.
Got a while.
Yeah. There's wait lists. So 5 years ago, there was a wait list that the Independence Center had opened up, and people actually came physically, got in line at the Independence Center, filled out pre-applications, and put the different issues that they were having, whether they were homeless, whether they had a disability, whether they were a victim of domestic violence, over the age of 55, different things like that. And they were put on a wait list.
Sure.
And then the funding comes from the state. It's a federally funded program and a state-funded program.
Okay.
And so they're put on a list, a Housing Choice Voucher list, HCV list. And then we drop people off the list, and we're the ones, the housing department gets to send them the letter saying that they came to the top of the list.
Nice.
Please come to this appointment at the Independence Center and bring these documents with you. And then we reevaluate whether they are still eligible, because they were on the list 5 years ago. So
Sure.
things may have changed. And we did find that out. When people did come to the top of the list, they came to the meeting, they're like, since then I found a job. Since then I got married, and I will relinquish my voucher and let somebody else allocate this. So
That's
then,
really cool.
and so
big.
it's a good feeling when you can go to the next person.
Right.
And so what would be the difference between your role at the Independence Center and the Colorado Housing Authority? Like, is it similar roles, the same role, or what does that look like?
Yeah.
Should they come to us instead, or should they go to the Housing Authority first?
It doesn't hurt to go to both.
Okay.
The more irons in the fire, the more resources you can get, the better. The Housing Authority has a different waiting list than we do.
Yes.
Their waiting list comes open sometimes once a year. We always will tell somebody to go over there. And if they need help getting on that wait list, because a lot of it is done electronically now, if they don't have a computer, we will help with that. We'll assist them with that. walk them through the program or walk them through the system. Our wait list has not been open for a while. We are still we have about 50 people left on our wait list, and we do have vouchers that we can allocate. We're just trying to get above the water so we can get to that position where we can pull people off the wait list again.
That's great.
That would be great.
Yeah, so there's some vouchers out there. We just need to get that set and get that going. Now, there are other vouchers, other wait lists that people can get vouchers from. Urban Peak, Homeward Pikes Peak, Aspen Point. So there's other people
there's
that do.
Ratio. I mean, there's different housing
Program.
components that do their own waiting
partners.
list.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So if an individual is wondering if they're a good candidate to become a recipient of the voucher, what would that look like? What would a good candidate look like?
Anybody that feels that they need rental assistance, that's pretty much what it is. It's a rental assistance document is what it is. Some of the vouchers have some requirements. It might be somebody that has to have a disability. There's a voucher program out there that is a dual diagnose, so they have to have 2 diagnoses.
Wow.
Youth, some of these youth are homeless. They might not have a disability, but they're homeless. So there's different preferences, if you call it, of how they would qualify.
Sure.
Do I qualify? I go to work every day. I bring home a good amount of money, but I have a disability. Would I qualify?
Absolutely.
Anybody needs rental assistance, right?
You're right.
So I would qualify?
Yeah.
We'll talk afterwards.
Sounds good.
I was like,
Daniel.
where are you going with this?
It's all about me. I'm trying to get on the list.
But generally, it's all about you anyway.
Yeah, and that's
like, where are we
something that people don't understand is they'll say, oh, well, I might not qualify for a voucher because I do have a job. No, we don't want we want to promote people to go out and get a job and work. And if you get the voucher and you aren't working at the time, but then you go get a job, we're not going to just say, oh, you have a job now, you don't deserve the voucher.
Right.
The rent portion that they pay is based on their income.
Nice.
So we encourage people to do what you want to do. Follow your passions, follow your loves, get a job, go to school.
Yeah.
We'll be here for you.
That's really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when we started developing this like bigger department, I guess it's really not really a Sarah question, but really a Chris question. How did you manage that? Because you had all of a sudden you had all of these other vouchers coming in. You needed people. You needed to make sure that we could pay those people to do the job. So what went into that planning? And
there was a lot of like, okay, well, if we have 300 and then we get this much revenue, does it equal out? Is it allow for another staff? And I think that's how we've been able to gradually continue hiring. Right now we have a part-time person that's going to be going full-time because we need the support.
Sure.
So we've been very fortunate to have that support to make sure that we can do it.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
We can do it well.
So, well, let's back up with Chris then.
Okay.
So when did you come to the Independence Center? How did you get to the Independence Center in this role?
So you want like past world?
Give me
that brought
all
me?
of it.
All of the
Yes.
whole
When she was 16.
I decided
A little bit
that,
older.
Right.
yeah.
1972.
Picture
Italy.
it.
Right.
No, I think that for me it was just really starting out, graduating college, coming back to Colorado where it was home to me, and then just doing direct care with individuals with intellectual developmental disabilities.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Okay.
doing a lot of that, doing the fun stuff, but then also doing the home living stuff. And then I went to do case management at our community center board. And then after that, after years and years and years, then an opening opened here at the Independence Center for just more management type stuff.
Sure.
So I was doing a lot of different departments at that time.
Right.
When housing was 35 people.
Yeah.
And it was one person, and we had one
person.
staff that said, hey, I want a little bit more on my plate. I can help out in this area.
Sure.
And so it's all Sarah's fault.
Okay.
It is.
We'll blame
I'll
you.
take the
Okay.
blame. Yeah.
So you went from really the IDD world into a world of cross disability, multiple disabilities, and was there a learning curve there, or was it?
It was a big learning curve.
Yeah.
Working more for and with people with developmental disabilities in that world, and then all of a sudden supervising and seeing people with disabilities as equals, being on that playing team.
Right.
So not knowing a lot about vision impairment and a lot about hard of hearing and deaf and, just the different accommodations that are out there. I really, it was a different world.
Right. And so then how long have you been with the Independent Center now?
7 years.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
She actually hired me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
she
right.
was in my,
We've talked about you
on
before.
the phone interview
Yeah.
process.
Oh, nice.
Where it started.
If you go back to our introduction podcast, we talk about Miss Chris.
Yeah. She gave me that phone call. It was the best phone call ever.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I know you didn't get hired for the first job,
But
but
I
I told you we were going to call you back. I was like,
That's funny. She was persistent in hiring me as well.
nice.
Yeah.
Chris
It
has
takes
the
a little
eye.
bit of time to get the really great people.
Chris has the eye.
She does. She does. Yep. And it's about finding the right
the right
place
fit.
for you. Yeah, the right
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's
then
so awesome.
investing in those individuals so that they can continue to grow. And it sounds like this is really what happened with growing the housing department is, yes, we know we can give Sarah more work, but do we give her more work in a different department, or do we really seek out what your strengths are and see if we can bring that into the IC? And that's really what Chris did along with you, is like, let's see if we can do this.
Right.
And are we up to the challenge? And, having that courage to take that step of 370 some odd
Yeah. We're up to
vouchers.
600
I was just
now.
going to say we got
Whoa.
We're over
Yes.
600 now.
Yes.
So many
So,
personalities.
Have
to
you
deal
heard
with?
that story yet of how they got that high?
Let's let our listeners hear that
All
story.
right. So tell us, guys.
We were approached again by the state with an opportunity to support our veterans with
Nice.
housing vouchers. So it's the VASH vouchers
go.
and
Nice.
veteran administrated supported housing.
Amazing.
So
Yep.
we're
Y'all
still
have
we're
a
still we're still trying to finesse that.
yeah.
But we just got those October 6th. I
Yep,
mean, we're talking
early
really,
October.
really new with those.
That's a new population to work with.
It is. It
For
really
us, it
is.
is.
And along with the about 200 that we got comes a lot of support, case management, social workers,
Nice.
Sure.
a lot of support, which is going to make this very successful. Looking forward to this next venture.
How big is that, though, in this day and age where our vets they seem to be getting the short end of the stick most of the time. They're really not getting what they should get for serving our country and risking their lives, in my view. Just only my view, not the Independent Center view, just my view. But how big is that you are helping our vets find housing, safe housing, where they can be comfortable?
Right.
And that's the most important piece, is that they're comfortable after dealing with war. Let's be honest about it. They've been in a war zone for a very long period of time, and to be able to come back home and know that their country is supporting them just as much as they support their country, that is amazing, and we thank you guys for that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Of course.
It's been enjoyable to be a part of all of that and the team that it takes, working together to lease these individuals up has been wonderful.
Yeah.
A blessing.
I bet.
So what is the criteria for vets, if there are any vets listening that may be in need of housing? Is it the VI SPDET? What do they need to...
They definitely look at the VI SPDAT, but the best thing for them would be to hook up with the VA, the local VA, and they're the ones that do the determining and the criteria.
It sounds very similar to our VIC program, where
Yeah.
you start with the VA and
come on over.
And so with the VIC program, you start with your social worker, and then you ask for the veteran directed care. Is that similar to what they would do, is talk to their social worker if they're already working with the VA, or is that something?
Yep, very similar.
It is.
Okay. That's very cool. All right, well then now you know.
Yeah.
So go back to your social worker for the VA and
Yes.
and talk to them about the VASH program.
Yeah. And they fill out the application, and then their name comes up on the wait list as well.
Cool. Okay.
And then we do what's called a briefing, where we bring them in and we do more paperwork, which we promise them, once you get this paperwork done, at the end, promise you'll be happy. And that's when they
Nice.
get the actual voucher.
Oh, that is so cool.
And then they're taken out pretty much that day that they get the voucher to go start looking for a home.
Wow.
The
And-
VA does provide a lot of support for that. So it's not like sometimes we're like, okay, good luck.
Here's a list of possibilities. It's not like
The
that
VA.
with the VA, which is really cool, because I think that the VA has done a lot of work understanding that when you come back from war or when you come back from being deployed, there are these necessary supports in order to get someone to move forward.
Yes.
And having the assistance of finding a home, and then also having the assistance of maybe some directed care that will really be beneficial to them moving forward, will only allow someone to be more successful and hopefully be able to come out of that mindset faster, and likely safer.
Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I've met some wonderful people just in the last couple of weeks of doing this, and some unbelievable landlords that know the challenge also with the vouchers. Yes, you have a housing voucher, but we do need to stay within a payment standard, and that is determined by the zip code. And, the zip codes have different amounts that they can live in, and it's nice to be able to have them choose what zip code, where they want to live, on the east side, the west side, and to find the landlords that will bring that price down to meet our payment standard to house as individuals up.
That's
it's huge,
really cool.
It's wonderful landlords.
Have you guys found that with the housing market being on the rise here, that the need has grown tremendously for individuals, but it's making it more difficult because of the pricing to find the housing? Have you guys found that? Or
Absolutely, yes. It's been huge. It is. And, if you meet some landlords and you tell them what the payment standard is, and they're like, well, we've got 6 people on the wait list that will pay this.
Right.
Why would I want to take your voucher and house this person up? But some of the landlords are willing to meet the individual, and once they meet the individual, they're like, you know what do I need to do to make this work?
it's amazing.
It's amazing a human connection versus a piece of paper.
Yes.
A person on a piece
Big
of paper
difference.
can make that difference. It really.
Very visual.
Yeah.
And that's what in the briefing we like to talk to each one, and what are your hopes and dreams? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go from here? Is it work? Is it school? Obviously a roof over your head, but we want to really get to know them and what they're looking for and what their hopes and dreams are, just like all of us.
Sure. Yeah.
They deserve a roof over their head.
Yeah.
And Sarah, it's nice you come from a world of person-centeredness. I mean, and how awesome is that that's automatically right in the forefront?
Yeah. And that is just really building on one of your strengths of seeing the person and then making sure that everything around them is working. It's hard to have that point of view if it doesn't naturally come to you. And when it does, then that person really becomes like the subject matter expert on how to come around someone and support them. So that's really a very good perspective to have, and I'm glad that you brought that up because it's so true. Yeah.
It doesn't just stop just with housing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it really
It's just
doesn't.
one piece. Yep.
Yeah, and especially when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of need, it's on the bottom there, along with food, is getting that shelter and being able to feel safe and secure.
Yes.
Then you can start looking at what are my dreams.
Yes.
Right.
Now that I have a home or the ability to pay for a home, now I just got to find one, and I get in there, then now I can start looking at having, other great adventures, and
even the ability to address your, like, if you have mental health issues, like it's hard to address it when you're homeless.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
Totally.
You're just trying to survive daily.
Absolutely.
And when individuals are able to be housed and feel safe, that can be life changing.
Yeah.
And they're able to really focus on themselves and growing.
Right. It really is cool. So let's talk about a few terms that you guys use, because you've mentioned a few times. So searching means what?
Searching means that they have the voucher.
Okay.
And they are out exploring Colorado Springs or the other surrounding counties to where they would like to live.
Gotcha.
The voucher is good for 90 days they have to search.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but if we do get close to that 90 days, they can ask for reasonable accommodation and let the state know that, I'm having some challenges.
Sure.
A lot of the places I'm looking at are higher than the payment standard. So then we issue them 30 more days to search some more.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And it is nice. It used to be that the payment standard in El Paso County was one flat rate.
Okay.
And when I started doing this job 5 years ago, I thought, it doesn't equal out, because the northern part of Colorado Springs is a lot different than the southern, which is a lot different than the west and the east.
Yeah.
So they did some studies and found out that if they go by zip code, the more north you go, the more the voucher is worth. A higher payment standard up north.
Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so they did that, which when they got the voucher and it says, $800 for an apartment, everybody is stuck in one area, right?
Right.
Well, this allows everybody to move in different areas, so we don't have all the voucher holders in one zip code or in one apartment complex. They can live where they want to live. And that's the beauty of the payment standards and the different zip codes, and they get to choose. We don't tell them where they're going to live.
Right.
They get to pick where they're going to live. If it's close to families, if it's close to support. The mountains, they want a view of the mountains. Yeah. Schools, if they have children that want to get into a good school district, absolutely.
It's really very similar to, just if you're not a voucher holder and you have the means to be able to support yourself without needing that extra assistance, you don't limit yourself to a zip code.
Right.
You're looking at where you want to live. And so now it just levels that field and allows people to be able to enjoy anywhere in the city, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And it can be an apartment, it can be a house, a duplex,
tiny home.
A tiny home. Well, we haven't done any tiny homes yet.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
We're working on tiny home villages around here, so that would be. Cool. You may get one. Yeah. That would be.
I want to
really
go
cool.
live on the windmill farm out by Callahan, past Callahan. I would love that. It's beautiful out there.
It is.
That's just way too far away from
civilization.
Yeah.
I'm
good.
Point.
No, I am not.
I'm not
a country girl. I'm not a farm girl. Give me a city and I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine. I'm like, I have to drive 15 minutes to see my next neighbor.
Who wants to see their neighbors?
Sugar.
I know. I actually kind of like my neighbors.
I can do without.
I'm sure they feel the same way about you.
To this.
I'm sure they know how I feel about them. If not, there you go, neighbors.
No. Yeah. So then lease up. I'm assuming that means they get a lease, but what does that process look like of leasing up?
Yeah, so the process is once they do find a home, we go out from the Independence Center, we go out and do the inspection to make sure that it is, all the outlets work, smoke detector works, light bulbs are in, to make sure that it's suitable for the family or the individual. Nice. Carpet's clean or needs to be replaced. And then from there, we pick a date to do, like you said, lease up, which we go through the lease. Some people have never even seen a lease before. They haven't signed a lease. So we go through and...
The entire lease?
Sometimes we do, if that's what the individual wants.
Nice.
Yes.
Some of the apartment managers are really good about highlighting the important aspects of the lease.
Sure.
They get a copy of it, I get a copy of it, and they hand them the keys that day.
Wow.
Yeah. I bet that's some fun joy.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of people cry tears of joy.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Sure.
It's
that's
wonderful.
Really cool. I love that. We're doing some pictures of joy for another project that we get, and just the excitement of someone receiving something that they have earned and worked hard for is so cool for me to see. And I'm not a big emotional person, and I'm not big with feelings. Only when they're against you, Daniel. But when I get the joy pictures, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I love it. And
we need to take some pictures of me smiling and then give them the backup before the podcast.
Exactly.
And then it's like, see, he's actually he's smiling at you. No, I'm good. Yeah.
That's pretty neat, though, when they do get their keys.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's so
it is
cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you guys could speak to the state as far as needs to support you guys in the effort that you put into helping people get housing, what would that sound like? What are some needs that you guys, or some assistance that you guys would like in order to make your job easier?
Increase affordable, accessible housing.
Amen.
All over Colorado Springs, all over Colorado.
Yep.
That's the high. That's been the frustration ever since I started this job.
Yep.
The amount of affordable, accessible units, homes, apartments.
Yep, that intersection seems to get missed a lot. Let's just make affordable housing, and then they just drop off accessible.
Definitely.
And you know what the important part is if we can get builders to build accessible and affordable housing, it doesn't have to be apartment complexes. Maybe it's fourplexes or whatever that looks like. Then that the time of getting the voucher, searching and looking for a place, and then leasing up could be so much faster and easier, because then they already know something was built for me and they were anticipating me coming. I don't have to have all of these modifications. I don't have to try to battle with my insurance company or Medicaid to get something that needs to be changed. It's already been built for them.
Yes.
Exactly. And a benefit to a landlord taking a voucher is usually what I have found is the tenant stays a long time. And they find a home, they stay a long time. I've got people that have been in their units for 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere. Their jobs aren't taking them out of state. Where if you lease up to a young individual, he might get married and move in with his fiance, and they might buy a house. They're going to move on. So the voucher holders, I feel like, are pretty steady.
Yeah, and stable individuals.
Very stable individuals.
Yeah.
So we try to promote that.
Yeah.
What if I received a voucher and my son and I lived in this home for a very long time and I transitioned on? Can my son take over my voucher?
If he was on the original family reporting list
Yes.
with the voucher, there is ways of handing that down to your son, yes.
That's cool.
There's a possibility, most definitely.
Possibility.
That's really
The
cool.
key word, yeah.
Understand.
It's a state that determines that.
Understand. Because, it may be a situation where he's my caregiver. And
Right.
he dropped everything to take care of me in the home that I received a voucher for. And then I pass on and he has nothing. So that would be...
Because they have invested their time
Yeah.
and literally their life to caregiving.
Yeah.
That would be really, something that would be really cool. So would that be something that they would come and talk to the person that's helping them manage that voucher? Or would that be a conversation first they would have to have with you, per se?
Absolutely.
Department, most definitely.
Okay.
And then we, like I said, we're the middle person, so we would send everything to the state. And the state does have the ultimate decision.
Sure.
They're very flexible, very,
Right.
yeah,
But
creative.
I think it's really cool that you guys have this relationship with the individuals that have vouchers and that you engage with them on a regular basis and they know you. Like, let me call Sarah.
Yes.
She knows what's going on, or let me process this with her. And then you can then bring information to the state that may actually, kind of help them decide which way to go, because you already have had a relationship that maybe you've worked through some family stuff that's been going on, and also can say, what, they've been great renters and the landlord is supporting that. I mean, I think it really does need to be a relationship that needs to be built with the voucher holder, with the landlord, and then also with the individuals that manage that. And it's really a pretty good relationship to be able to build.
Absolutely.
Especially if they want to move on to another place. And this landlord has never had a voucher holder before. That can be, a good starting point for them, and understanding that, I've had a relationship with this person. I have seen them grow and adapt and move forward, and, they're stable.
Right.
It's really important
It is.
to see.
So
Absolutely.
excuse me. So with the housing department, what do you guys handle outside of vouchers? Outside of the, what was it, HCV?
Yeah.
HCV? Yeah. Do you guys handle anything outside of that? As if someone calls and say, hey, I just moved to Colorado Springs looking for an apartment that's accessible. Can you help me? Like, do you guys step in and say,
With or
here's
without
a
a
list?
voucher, Daniel?
Without a voucher.
Without. What we do is, if we get the caller, we actually talk to the person. We'll try to hand them the list that we use, like,
Sure.
oh, you might want to try these places.
Sure.
But for the most part, we don't work with necessarily people that are just looking for a place.
Sure.
We typically work with individuals who have a voucher.
Okay. Yeah,
Is
that
that
was my
correct,
question.
Sarah?
I just
Well,
made it really hard. That's all.
We'll answer questions for them
Right.
and give them resources.
Sure.
If they are a person that identifies themselves as having a disability, I will promote them to come in and sit down with our intake team
Yeah.
and find
Talk
out
to
what
Miss
else we
Marita.
do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, within housing and their work with the vouchers, the housing advocacy really falls under my department, and we do it both at individual and systems level. So Arthale is the one that does he's had some really interesting housing situations that have come up the last couple of months. I'm like, what is going on? Why is this all of a sudden blowing up? But Arthale really focuses on the individual, and then if it becomes more of a systems issue, it either gets kicked up to either me or Elle, our community advocacy coordinator, or we see that it's more of a much more pervasive issue, and then we need to either bring in our partners, or usually our partners that need to do the legal side of things, because at the IC we don't have an attorney that would really do any kind of legal action. But, to kind of answer your question to Sarah, housing department really focuses on vouchers and leasing people up and maintaining them. Marita really can support with intakes, and then advocacy manages all the crazy things that happen.
That's right.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean that happened?
Right.
So I think that did that answer your question?
Because you answered it, I'm going to say no.
Of course not.
But yes, it answered my question.
We'll go behind the building later.
I'm scared.
It should be.
So let's say I'm a renter, no voucher, fell behind in my rent, had some life situations occur. Does the Independent Center Housing Department have a rental assistance program that will pay my rent for me if I fall behind?
I wish we did. I wish we had a bucket of money, Daniel, and we would help you and everybody else out there that gets behind, because I'm sure it does happen.
Right.
People have things that come up, medical bills, who knows what. But unfortunately, we do not have financial assistance.
Right.
Usually we refer them to, if they go to a church or Catholic Charities, their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister. Do you have any family that can
help you out?
Help you out? Yeah, it's a tough situation. It really is.
It is, and I just wanted to make that clear for all of our listeners.
We do get calls like that. Yeah.
I can imagine, and it's likely in a panic.
Absolutely. Yes.
So in the future, with the housing department, what do you guys see coming down the pipeline? Any new stuff? Anything? I know you guys are handling 600 vouchers, and I'm like, add more on your plate, right? But no, really, like there may be some nuances coming down the pipeline. Anything like that in the near future? Or?
There are a lot of nuances coming down the pipeline from the state level that we are hearing about. Whether we're going to be a part of that is a question, a good question.
Sure.
And we're maintaining what we have now.
We'll have to bring you guys back.
It's called Stay Tuned.
Stay tuned for part 2
Watch
of housing.
what happens.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing now is that we have a team now. Like I talked about before it was just myself, and now when people call, I will let them know it's not just me here now. I've got a team here. And so if I'm not here, you can call Chris, you can call Nicole, you can call Tanya, Caroline.
Right.
So it's a team.
Yeah.
But there are definitely housing is always changing, always growing, always new vouchers, new agencies that want to get on board with the voucher program.
That's really cool.
It is.
That's
The
really
state's
cool.
doing some wonderful things and writing a lot of grants for people to house them up.
So within the IC, we manage the vouchers based off of last name. Is that right? So you have a part of the alphabet, and then your
caseloads. Yes,
your partners have other. So I guess my best recommendation for anybody who's listening is, if you have a voucher that is managed to the Independent Center, you should know who your connection is. If not, don't be hesitant to ask for someone else that's there, because there's your primary contact, but the other experts are there to help them.
Absolutely. We go through the front desk, and our front desk staff is wonderful. They know our caseloads.
Sure.
And they pretty much know where we are. They have access to our calendar. So if they say Sarah's out for the rest of the day, she's doing an inspection.
Sure.
If it's something that needs to be answered at that moment, they can leave me a message. I can call them back. Or if they need something right away, Tim and Gabby can look and say, well, Nicole's here. She might be able to help you out. So
Sure.
yeah, go through our front desk, and they will be able to guide you in the right direction.
Yay.
And there's always Chris. Chris is always willing to answer
She's
questions.
like,
I'm going to do my best.
Wink,
I know,
wink.
to
I'm not going to be Sarah, but
No, you've
Give
answered
yourself
a
some
lot
credit,
of questions for me,
Chris.
Chris. So you're capable and competent too. Then we'll take Chris, definitely.
Yeah. And we're learning as well. Our team's learning. No 2 days are alike. No two situations are alike. And sometimes we take the story and talk to each other, talk to our coworkers. How are we going to handle this? Sometimes we reach out to the state, give us some guidance and how we should handle it.
Sure.
So there's no, I should say, a dumb question regarding housing. So
Definitely don't be afraid.
right, exactly.
So, I'm going to bring up something. This is probably uncomfortable for some of our listeners.
Uh-oh.
But have you guys ever run into people trying to game the system, and you're able to, how do you deal with that for individuals that are trying to game the system?
Give me an example.
Like an
please.
individual that may, I'm not good at the criteria for the housing voucher,
just throw
but for
it out
somebody
there.
that may not actually be on the voucher, that is living in the home with the person that has the voucher.
Snap. That's a good question.
It's a great question, and it happens more frequent than we would like. When we do the briefing, we explain to the individual, here's a list of the rules. If you want to keep the voucher, you need to follow these rules. And one of them is, yes, the voucher is for you. You are the only person on this voucher. If you do get married, if you do have a child, we will add them on. But with this paperwork, we need to go through to add those people on.
Sure.
But for an example, if somebody did get caught with somebody in there, and I sat them down and said, okay, so we do what's called a tenant conference. Look, what happened? What transpired here?
Right.
And they said, well, it was my buddy, and she was on the streets, and the temperature dropped below 0, and I was only going to let her stay for a day, and next thing you know, the day goes into a week.
Into a month.
Yeah,
6 months
so
later, and you're like, what?
we want to try to help this other individual out as well, and kind of go through the rules again. Yes, you're being a friend. However, you need to follow the rules.
Right.
Get the person on the wait list when the wait list comes up. See what resources we can give that other individual, because it is breaking the rules of the voucher program.
Sure.
And they made a commitment to their landlord. They signed a lease, and the only person on the lease was themselves.
Right.
So this is also different than someone coming for a vacation, and it's, hey, I'm gonna they're coming for 2 weeks, and it's a 2-week vacation, not living there.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, they can have guests, definitely. Family come,
Sure.
friends come, stay for a week or two. Absolutely.
Do they need to contact their landlord to let them know that this is going to be happening, so the landlord will not assume that the person is living there? If they stay for 2 weeks, it may look like, they're going to be here for a while. So do they, ahead of time, be proactive and reach out to their landlord or reach out to you and say, hey, this is upcoming, it's Thanksgiving, I have my brother and my sister coming in for 2 weeks, I just wanted to...
That's a good question. And that usually, if it is in the lease, the manager will go over that when we go over the lease.
Gotcha.
Okay.
If you do have any out-of-town guests, because a vehicle might come into play as well.
Sure,
Where they're going to park that vehicle in the
Yeah.
lot, so it doesn't get towed.
Yeah.
So
that
it
makes
is,
sense.
the communication is huge. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you just let your landlord know, I've got my mom coming, my brother coming.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
plus I think it can get kind of messy if you don't communicate, and then there's all these assumptions
Yes.
because
Yeah.
they're seeing a different vehicle, or they're seeing more people or more activity, or their lights are on more than it normally is.
Right.
So I think just giving a heads up. I mean, you can shoot an email to someone
Yes.
in
Seconds.
seconds, and then
Yeah.
that'll save a landlord getting a phone call, or and then Sarah getting a phone call, and then a phone call to the tenant, like, what's going on? Oh, I just had my mom here for a couple of weeks. What's the big deal?
Right.
So,
right.
yeah, that would save a lot of time,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder
And
what
neighbors talk.
what that...
Neighbors
yes,
might
they
say
do.
I'm sure
something,
they
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
What
Definitely.
does
Especially
that
yours.
criteria look like? No, they don't talk. That's what I don't like them. They're not friendly.
They talk about you, not to
Right.
you.
They're not friendly people.
Yeah.
Right. So what is that, the criteria of living there? What does that look like? Because what if you just have a friend, let's say you just got off the streets, your house, and your friends just come by to sleep in a warm place at night, but leave during the day. Is that considered living there?
It is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I got this story that came to me a couple of weeks ago where someone got a voucher. They just got a voucher. Just started this brand new place to live, and they're excited about having their own place. And then they started like passing the key to other people to stay during the day, and it was, I think, up to 6 people who had access to that key that were living
Taking
there.
showers. And,
Yeah,
yep.
eating, bringing their own groceries, and so then they had to, unfortunately evict them because they have now allowed 6 people to live,
In their
air
house.
quotes, people, in their house when it went against the rules. So would that be one that you guys would? Yeah, I was like, really? I totally had this whole like pug head tilt face, like what?
People do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
never thought of that.
Yeah, if you're on the streets for a while, you build up a community. You become a part of a community, and I'm sure a little bit of let's say, survivor's remorse comes into play when now you're in the house and all of your friends are still on the street. You want to reach
It's
back.
some of that creative problem solving that could
Yep.
go against the rules.
Definitely.
Right. Creative problem solving. The people that have the vouchers deserve the vouchers.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got on the wait list. They
They took
did what
those
they needed
steps.
to do.
Yes.
So they need to encourage their friends to do the same.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just, hey, come on, guess what I got? I won the lottery. I got a voucher.
Yeah.
Let's just pass that key along. And that's if you're
risky.
living in a fourplex or an apartment complex, that could come into question about safety.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because there's
You're right.
background checks and stuff like that
Yep.
that likely an apartment complex does, and
Yeah.
if you don't know all of those people's history, it could put children and
Definitely.
families at risk.
So,
You're
speaking of background checks, are there any types of charges in someone's background that would exclude them from being eligible for a voucher?
There are, and it depends what voucher there is. There's some that are a little more lenient. They go back maybe 2 to 3 years with felonies.
Okay.
The ones go back even farther.
Sure.
So it fluctuates.
Okay.
Do you guys have that list available to you and accessible so that if someone comes and says, I'm on the list and I just got called up, I guess, in that 5-year
Voucher.
period, and they have now this offense on their record, would they automatically just be dropped, or is that a conversation, or?
It's a conversation to have.
Gotcha.
And some landlords will accept individuals with something in the background. More likely a private person that is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have an individual that reached out and says, you know what, I'm going to give this individual a second chance. His felony is in within the 2 years, but I feel that he's going to better himself, and I'm going to rent to him.
There
So
are
he didn't
good
have
people
anybody
in
over
this
him
world.
saying you can't rent to that person.
Right.
He just got a good feeling about the
So
individual.
private landlords.
So he looked past that felony.
That's
really
beautiful.
cool. It's again that whole person versus paper thing. When
Yeah.
you engage with someone and you
Yeah.
get to know them.
We all have stories.
Yeah.
We all have
Just because you
background.
might have a past, it doesn't mean you don't deserve a house.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
And plus,
Yeah.
having either your spirit or your aura or how you engage with people can
Yes.
really change someone's perspective on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that's encouraged. Like, meet them, talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you just kind of look at the paper and
Yeah.
and say, I don't kind of
Yeah.
like.
It's
them.
pretty neat to get that call where the landlord says, you know what, I got a good feeling about Chris, and I'm going to go with it. You're like, yes. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
And do you have any friends that also
I know that. Are there more people
When's
like
another
you?
one coming up? Yeah. It's great.
Send them to my
There's
direction.
good people out in this world.
Yeah, it's kind of, it really makes you do feel better when you have to deal with some of those bad days where things are not going well. You have those one phone calls that kind of like erase the bad day, which is
Yeah,
really
Yes.
amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
That's so cool, man.
At the end of the day, I think we feel pretty good about what we do.
Yeah.
Always,
Absolutely.
every single day.
Yeah.
So, just in your time, do you keep track of how many people you had leased up so far?
We do
Sarah?
monthly, yes. We do in our CEO report.
Nice.
We do report
Our
monthly.
annual,
Yes.
yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So, in the past year, how many people have you guys been able to get leased up?
In the past year,
Yeah.
I would say we do about 10 a month.
Wow.
And that's probably going to increase now with the VASH vouchers.
Yeah.
Because it's fast.
Yeah.
They're leasing up quickly. They are truly homeless.
That's amazing.
So there's no waiting period. They don't have to give notice somewhere else. They're not moving. They're moving into a place. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
it's going to pick up.
nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we'll be doing
That's a
more
lot
than
of work.
10.
That's a lot of work, a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
a lot
It's
of
worth
help.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
just the maintenance of a voucher. So annually, do you have to meet with them, or?
Yeah,
What
once
is
a
that
year
process?
we will mail out the package to them, and then they can mail it back. There's some individuals that want to meet in person, which they can come during our walk-in hours, or they can come and make an appointment with us. We will go through the paperwork.
Cool.
If they have questions on their paperwork, we are there for them.
Sweet.
We do talk to them periodically throughout the year if they have changes in their lives, if they did get married, if they have a child that we need to report to the state, if they have a job, if their job changed. So there's times that they will reach out to us as well. If they just want to come to the Independence Center for a class or a support group or see
They
what
just
else
want
we
to
have.
see Sarah.
Yeah. See the Independence Center.
Right.
Yeah. 'Cause we do amazing things.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
If an
cool.
individual has an income increase during the time of their voucher, how should they go about reporting that? Should they do it immediately or wait until their yearly review?
They do it immediately. There's
Okay.
a form that we would send the employer that says when their job started,
Sure.
their rate of pay, and then the employer sends that back to us, and then the individual sends us check stubs,
Cool.
and then we make that change in their housing.
Oh, nice. So right away. Don't
Right
wait
away.
until
Yeah,
you're-
don't wait.
Yeah, and that's one of the rules that's on the form. The Statement of Understanding says report your change of income within 10 days.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very similar to any other state or federal program anyway.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Yep.
it's pretty standard, which is good because I'm glad that some of the programs that our consumers utilize kind of lined up some of those rules, because to keep track of okay, for my SNAP benefits, it's every 15 days. And then for housing, it's 10. And then Medicaid says, oh, I don't need to know any of that because Department of Labor is going to tell me.
Right.
And that's every month. And so, you're kind of like trying to navigate these requirement dates and for all these different programs, but then they're starting to line up, which just makes life easier.
Yes.
I mean, if
For
you're
everybody,
not, if you're not, utilizing those programs, just kind of, understand when your due dates for your bills are, let alone add all of these extra requirements of, I mean, geez, it's a spreadsheet on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
This makes my brain hurt thinking about it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so some we may see once a year, some we may see more frequently. We do also go out to do the inspections. The housing choice vouchers are every other year, unless something comes up. We will go out and inspect if they're haven't been getting water or one of their outlets is not working, things like that. We'll go do an inspection. A lot of the other vouchers require once a year, so we'll go out and see them once a year, which is nice. It's funny because we'll go out and they open the door and they're very proud that this is their home. I cleaned it. I did the dishes and they're all dressed up.
I made you cookies. It smells like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, and some of them are nervous and they think, and after the inspection, they ask, did I pass? And I said, well, yeah. All the outlets work, your smoke detector work, you passed. They think we're looking at how clean they are.
Yeah,
It's like, it's your home. You can do what you want with your home.
Yeah,
You want to leave your dishes out, leave
We
your
just want to
dishes
make
out.
sure it's safe for you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
for safety.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we want to know what the communication is between the landlord and themselves.
Yeah.
When something does break or maintenance, how quickly do they get out for you?
Sure.
And we will communicate that with the landlord. The landlord does get a letter saying that we are going out to do the inspection. That way they can be there if they would like as well.
Make sure everything's working first.
Like we talked about before, communication is huge.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to address the elephant in the room in Colorado.
No. What is
You
What
ready
elephant?
for this? So if I'm receiving a voucher and I'm living in my home or my apartment, we live in a legal state for marijuana. How does that look for our consumers that may consume medical marijuana but have a voucher? What does that look like for them?
How is that an elephant in the room?
Because
I was
they want to
really
know.
scared just
Do you get
now.
that question a lot, Sarah, about medical marijuana? Like, is that going to affect my ability or eligibility for a voucher, or is it going to affect my living situation? Because some people assume I have an apartment, I'm paying rent, I should be able to smoke pot in it if I want to.
I would have never gone there, but
I'm
good
just
question,
we
I
got to
guess.
ask. We got
Absolutely.
listeners that
You
want to know.
Some of the vouchers are federally funded, and it's a federal program. The big key here is whether the landlord will allow that to go in the apartment as well.
oh, okay.
So they're breaking double rules. So
To my knowledge, if it's a multi-unit facility, you are not allowed to use medical marijuana inside of that building.
Had no idea.
Yep.
I had no idea there was an elephant in the room.
Yeah, man. People want to know where
an elephant
millennials and all that
smoking
stuff.
marijuana.
I know. I'm like,
I think
really?
he forgot. That's the one time the elephant forgot.
Yeah.
But don't.
Yeah, oh yeah. There you
We
go.
need a live drummer. To
I
do
know
that.
we do. I think we
Keegan,
have.
we need a live drummer.
Add it to the list.
Now we
That
tell
would be
Keegan,
cool to do that.
and he does it. He's awesome. I think we've covered a lot.
We have
Right?
from vouchers to
Elephant smoking pot.
yeah, amazing.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Right.
So
If you're
I'm
looking
good.
for you ready to
yes,
do this?
you have
want me
at
to?
it. You have at it.
I'm about to go.
Okay.
You ready?
You don't have any more questions?
I'm
for
buckling it
us?
up. No,
You have any more questions?
we're trying to figure out how to close
We're
this.
trying
up.
to kick you guys out of here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Did I say that out
time for
loud?
us to- 'cause I was just starting to really enjoy this.
yeah.
I was
Sarah?
nervous when I came in.
The struggle is real
This
for
has been
Daniel.
fun. The struggle's real.
So if you guys enjoyed this podcast, if you felt like it was very educational, please like and subscribe. We would like it if you subscribe. I like the way you say that, Becca. And if you're looking to find out more information about our housing department, you can log on to our website, www.theindependencecenter.org. And you can look right under our housing. If you want to contact our housing department, you can call us at 719-471-8181. Speak to our front desk and ask for the housing department. If you would like to follow our podcast, you could definitely subscribe under Podomatic and look for the Independence Center or Real Empowerment. And you should find all of our podcasts there. Please like and subscribe. And as well, for our listeners that may need captioning, you can find us on YouTube. We have YouTube videos. If you just search the Independence Center, all of our podcasts with captioning should come up. And signing off first, let me thank you, Chris Gardner and Sarah Callendar, for being our guests for today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No
very
problem.
much.
And I'm Daniel Ratcliffe,
I'm Rebecca Michael.
and this is Real Empowerment.